Hey folks, so here we are finally doing the Q&A video. I've been trying to go ahead and make this video for the past 2 or 2.5 weeks right now. I initially wanted to go outside somewhere nice to shoot it, but it was something coming in between all the time, and I figured I could just go ahead and film this video inside right now. So I will be looking to this side for a little bit in between because I have the questions that you guys send me on the screen right here, and let's dive straight into the first question. So the first question comes from Photographs by Eline. I will put your name in the bottom of the screen, so you guys can check out all the accounts of people that have asked me questions. And she's asking me, how do you decide which lens you bring when traveling? Very good question. Traveling and packing your bag is always, well, not always, but it's something to keep in mind. Try to travel light, but you don't want to forget an important lens for your trip. And I have three lenses that I use mostly on my photography trips. I have a couple of other lenses that I only use in specific situations, like a fisheye lens or a 50mm. That's more of a portrait lens. So for my landscape workshops and my travel photography, it usually is, and I'm gonna show them to you because I have them right here, my Sigma 10 to 20 millimeters. I hope you can see it. I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up. But this is my wide angle lens, 10 to 20 mil, f3.5 by Sigma. It's a couple of years old now. This one is actually fairly new, but the design or the this particular lens is a couple of years old. Very wide, sharp. I like it a lot. I will not go too much in depth about talking about these lenses and about their quality. I can do a what's in my camera bag or a gear kind of video later. So lens number one, 10 to 20 mil from Sigma, which is on my D7000, by the way, which is my backup body or a spare extra camera that I use. I used it before and now it functions as a backup. Yeah. And then my main lens basically that I use all the time, also for a lot of work and weddings and portraits and stuff, is my 17 to 55 millimeter from Nikon, which is an f2.8 lens, very sharp, very fast, f2.8, a little bit heavy but weather sealed. Again, I'm not gonna give you too much details and waste too much time. I will talk about my gear in another video, but this is, in short, this is my main walk-around lens that I use for everything, for my landscapes, but also other stuff. And then about a year ago, around a year ago, I purchased the Sigma 70 to 200 mil telezoom, also f2.8. Big lens, quite heavy, but very, very sharp, very, very fast. Image stabilization, love this lens a whole lot. It gives you the option to zoom in and compress landscapes and have a lot of different kind of shots. Everybody's always talking about landscape photography is wide angle, and yes, that's true, but this will be very good as well on shooting landscapes. So Photographs by Elena, thanks for your question. Let's move on to the next one. Next question comes from nature.explores, and they're asking, what's the most interesting thing you can see out of your office or kitchen window? That is actually quite disappointing. On the window here, outside of the window here, I just have a view out on the road, where my house is located. Couple of houses on the other side of the road, and it's not a very busy road, so there's not a lot of traffic. I live in a nice, quiet and small town, village, and my kitchen window just looks out over my backyard. Nothing special there as well. Sorry for that, nothing interesting. I have no dramatic landscapes or anything outside of my office window and kitchen window. So yeah, that's that. And let's go to the next question. The next question comes from Oana Lina, and she's asking me, did you think of giving edit lessons online? Yes and no. Let me explain. I have thought about giving some sort of tutoring online in how to edit stuff in Lightroom and talking Lightroom basics, maybe also some video stuff, some basics, but I don't know if I want to go official in like tutoring and putting tutorials out there. I would probably approach it as a sharing how I would do it kind of style, like show you guys the process that I the stuff I do in editing my photos and videos, and hopefully and probably something inside of this process is it could be something that you could take away from that. So in that way I have thought about doing a tutorial or tutoring online, and right now would be a very good time to start doing that, and it is on my list, on my to-do list somewhere. So Juana Lina, I am thinking about it, and you guys will know when I have any of that stuff out. So yeah, thank you. Next question comes from Yaxology. Yaxology, I hope I pronounced it correctly. It is, he's basically asking or telling me the same as Juana Lina is saying. You should start making tutorials. I think you will go very far with them. Thank you very much for that, for your nice words. And again, yeah, basically same answer than last question. I will think about doing them, and the approach would be maybe not so much tutoring, but giving an insight of how I edit my stuff, and hopefully something valuable comes from that. So yeah. Next question comes from Doris Steuten. She's asking me, what's your proudest moment in photography? That's a tough question because I have quite a lot actually, so it's impossible for me to make a top three, let alone coming up with the single most proudest moments. So I'm just gonna run through a couple of them, name a few. 2 years ago I shot a wedding in Iceland, taking a couple around the south coast for a couple of days, taking their wedding photos in the most amazing places you can think of. Iceland in the summer, lots of dramatic backgrounds and beautiful nature. That was really special, and until this day I'm very thankful for that experience, and still a little bit stunned that somebody would hire me to go all the way to Iceland to take their photos, but it happened and it went well, and yeah, very cool. And you can take a look at these photos on my website, by the way. Wedding photography, I have a small section on there where some of the shots are. Let's stay in Iceland for a proud moment in photography. I have a friend in Iceland who has booked me on several occasions for some of his projects. I was part of a film crew shooting behind the scenes, documenting the process of shooting the movie back in 2016 already. Wow, time goes fast. And he's also running a film festival in the town where he lives, in Flattery, Iceland Comedy Film Festival. You guys should check it out. I'm just gonna put it out there. And I am taking photographs and helping out with a little bit of the visuals and social media here and there for the festival, which is something that is a very nice thing for me to have and do, and I'm very happy and proud to be part of the team and involved in working for this festival and collaborating with my friend in Iceland. My proudest moment, it's such a hard question. The workshops I'm doing with Paul Jokel from Iceland, they are a lot of fun. They make me really, really happy. I get to travel to my favorite places and share my experiences and a little bit of knowledge that I have and talk about photography. So that's the perfect situation for me. So I'm really proud of having achieved that. But also, shooting weddings here in the Netherlands, just making sure that the people who book me, that I provide them with the images they look for their big day, their most important day of their life. That is something that I take very seriously, and which I'm proud of, that people put the trust in me to have me do that. And I can go on like this for a while. Like, a lot of things that I do photography wise, where there's other people involved that buy my stuff or hire me or book me, to make me proud, basically. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Next question. Next question comes from, it's not a question, it's a comment, comes from The Great Outdoors Book. It's in German. Hoffe du bist gesund. My German is not the best. Hoffe du bist gesund, which means I hope, or we hope, or hope you are healthy. I am healthy. I am staying inside as much as I can in regards to the coronavirus situation that's going on right now. I haven't had any symptoms, luckily, so I feel good, and I obviously hope to stay healthy. And thank you for your concern. I hope you are feeling good as well and are healthy. And yeah, thanks. 2 more questions left. This question comes from Cornelia Johansson 04. She's asking, have you always known that you wanted to be a photographer? That's a good question, because I don't think I did. As a kid, I wanted to be a something with history, and history teacher, or a archaeologist, dig up dinosaur bones and stuff like that. And in my early teens, I gotten a small camera as a gift from my parents or family. And I started playing around with the camera around my house, and taking it into the forest and out in the fields in the town I was born in and raised. And that was fun, and I enjoyed taking photos with that camera, and getting a very, very small taste of what photography was. But I never thought of growing my photography back then, or developing it into a serious hobby, which at that point it wasn't even a hobby. It was just something that I was doing when I was pretty bored, I would say. So doing that for 2 or 3 years, just looking at photography as a last resort for whenever I was bored and stuff. Then at some point something just clicked. I started to like it more and more, and I gotten to the point where I bought myself my first more decent camera, like a DSLR, and I still have that camera today. It's very old right now, old as a brick. It's a Nikon D40. I bought this back in 2000 and can't remember. So yeah, buying this camera really sparked the passion for photography in me that I didn't know I had or was in me. And I started to go on trips more and more, travel more and more, buy more equipment and try different styles and different kind of stuff. And then from there I knew that this was something that is really me, like photography in general, that it's my passion. And from then I realized and knew that this was something that I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. And I feel the same about it today still. I feel like photography is one of my biggest, if not the biggest passion that I have, to be able to travel and create and look at the world through a creative tool is totally me. And it will stick with me for the rest of my life, and I will always keep growing and progressing and stuff like that. So that's it basically. Thanks for your question. So now we go on to the last question. It comes from Martine Erin. She's from Norway. She's asking me, what is the best place to take nature photography? That's it's a good question. There's an easy answer to that, and there's a more detailed answer to that. The easy answer to that is the country where you live in, by the way, for example, which is Norway. You guys know that I'm a big fan of Iceland and the Faroe Islands, and basically anything Scandinavian or Nordic. You know, I travel a whole lot to places like Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Norway, you know, Iceland and the Faroe Islands and stuff like that. For me, that these are my favorite places to go to. So, you know, that's the simple answer to your question. Best place to take nature photography for me is, and with me a lot of other people, is these countries, that area, Nordics slash Scandinavia. You know, to go a little bit more in depth, basically anywhere you want. You know, just to be outside somewhere and have your camera with you and go out on a shoot. You know, it could be in front of your house into the next or into the first forest that you'll find, or go to your local park, or go to the river if you live by a river, or to the coast if you live on the coastline. And you know, just getting to know your local area and all the aspects of the landscape and the flora and fauna around, and being out there with your camera. I think that's also an answer to the question. That's the best place to do nature photography. So, you know, that's a good place to develop a style of photography, and getting used to working with your camera, and nailing techniques and trying out new stuff. Because that's what I've been doing for the first couple of years doing photography. Just basically shot around my home area. As I told you before, into the forest and out into the fields. And I grew up next to a river, so I did a lot of photo sessions, and just scouting and exploring and shooting next to the river. And yeah, so you know, that sparked something in me to continue doing photography and growing more towards where I am right now. So I think that is, you know, the best place to take nature photography is, of course, the places that you dream of and your favorite places, which again are Iceland and the Faroes and Finland and all that I just mentioned, but also your local area. Anywhere outside is always good to try new things, and just go for it. Alright guys, these were the questions you asked me for this video. Thank you very much. I enjoyed answering them for you, and I am thankful for you of asking them. I hope you are doing fine, all of you, staying safe and positive in these crazy times. And you know, do something that keeps you busy. If you are a photographer yourself, you know, clean your gear. Go outside into your backyard and start doing macro photography. Even if you are a event photographer, try something new, you know. Challenge yourself in a way and do something with your passion or your hobbies. You know, quick little positive message to end this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys for the next one. Bye bye.